And welcome back, everybody, to an action-packed TV show episode. I'm Jay Black, joined as always by Rhea Hughes and Angelo
Hello.
Cataldi. And guys, we got to hop right into the outcry of our Unfrosted review last week, guys. I put it out to the world, and this new thing. If you anything you want to tell us, you can go right now. There's a little button that says "Text us." And if you click it, we will get it immediately. I've been sharing it all week with you guys. People seem to be agreeing with Rhea that Unfrosted was a good movie. I put it on to Twitter. I got 23% said that they loved it. 22% said that they hated it. 55% said that it was fine. We had Glenn Mack now weighing in. He really enjoyed it, said Rhea was right, and you and I were wrong, Angelo. Angelo, you said you got an email from somebody?
Yes, I did. And Rhea, could you do Stuart a favor? Because this woman is a huge fan of yours and really loves when you drink the wine. Do you have any wine with you right now? Beautiful.
Always.
I'll read this. All right. It's by a regular emailer to me. You could always email me at radioman610@gmail.com. And she wrote, Victoria Bell wrote, Unfrosted stinks to high heaven. I have only walked out on one movie in my life, some junk starring Danny DeVito and Bette Midler, and I've only abandoned one movie early online, Unfrosted. I was out at the 37-minute mark. What the hell was Seinfeld thinking? Just goes to show you what a bubble celebrities live in. And what was my girl Rhea thinking? It had to be the wine.
Nah, was not the wine when I was watching it because I was getting ready to watch a Phillies game. Now, what I said was, I didn't say it was a great film. I said it was a fun film. It was fun. It was goofy and lighthearted, and just that's all I thought it was fun.
Yeah, we were talking right before the show started, and I believe that my problem with this was the expectation that Seinfeld and the level of stars set. If
Yeah.
this were like a Lonely Island movie, where like if it were starring I don't know, Andy Samberg, maybe I would have enjoyed it more because my level would be set at, yeah, it'll be pretty good. But I looked at, you got Melissa McCarthy, you got Seinfeld, you got Jim Gaffigan, you got all these guest stars. So I think my brain goes, well, this must be a really good movie. And then nothing but disappointment follows.
Well,
It'd be like if I
there's
was
another element,
built and I took my pants off and there was nothing there.
Jay. Jay, there's another element to this, and I have experienced it. All right. And there are certain people that were so great at what they did that they become, that you can't rip them. If you rip them, people, even if they did something awful, they will still get away with it. And that's what happened here. No, this was a heaping pile of garbage. If Jerry Seinfeld's name was not attached to it, Rhea would have ripped it too. All right. But listen to this, Rhea. I don't know if you were there this day, but they did this documentary. It came out last year on Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the documentary, they pulled out a rant that I went on in which I ripped him to shreds after
Yes.
he had a horrible game, right?
Yeah.
And I said, he should be ashamed of himself. He should be embarrassed. If this is the way he's going to play, he should retire now. One of those things. And I can never remember being that uncomfortable in any kind of a setting. I could feel all the eyes on me saying, what a horse's ass. Jason Kelce is the most beloved Eagle of all time, and you're destroying him. But that doesn't mean he didn't have bad games. And the thing was, Jason was the first one to tell you he played poorly.
He would.
Seinfeld is acting like this is a brilliant film, and it stinks. It's bad. And if you didn't think it was bad, you need to upgrade your standards.
Angelo,
I have up yours.
He's used that before.
Yes.
Angela, just thinking about you in that theater, how often do you hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song just over the course of your week?
It happened. Look, I mean, I was at a thing last night. I don't belong in public.
Awkward.
I don't belong there. It's not a good fit for me. but I will not ever change my mind on that. And I got to admit, even at this thing I went to last night, some of the people said they enjoyed it.
See,
So
Wow.
I don't get it. You know, that's why I'm trading in some friends before the next time we go up.
All right. Well, let's talk about you want to talk about being in public. Someone's about to be very much in public, and that person is Tom Brady, who I saw the announcement he's going to make his network premiere, his broadcast premiere, week 1 of the NFL season, not the preseason, but week 1 of the NFL season.
on a Dallas game, no less.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge game.
Yeah.
It's going to be witnessed by a lot of people. And, you know, this is something we were talking about back on the radio show, Angelo, which is, you know, how good is Tom Brady going to be? Fox apparently thinks he's worth $250 million, which is what he's getting paid for his 10-year contract to be an announcer. Where do you stand on him? Do you think he's got a shot at being good, Rhea? What do you think?
Well, so I've seen him do, over the years, like Angelo knows, I watch a lot of stuff, always trying to get sound from something. So I've seen him like break down games and go and like go in detail to the defensive backs, the secondary. He's really good talking about football. What he has to figure out is, can he rip players that he was teammates with? He's only been out of the league, 2 years?
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge thing. It's very hard for him. He'll be here's what I know. We know Tony Romo was good his first year in because he knew everybody.
Right.
But it's figuring out how to get that message across in the small amount of time. He's not going to be able to talk over the play-by-play. Earning that chemistry is really massive.
Yeah, I have a feeling, Jay, he's going to be okay at the beginning for what Rhea just said. He knows the players better. It's a novelty. He's going to have to do his homework. But first of all, he's replacing Greg Olson, who did the last 2 years. Greg Olson sucked at analysis. I don't care that they thought he was some rising star. Listen,
I like him too.
He was a blabbermouth who never said anything controversial or interesting, had no sense of humor. This is not a high bar for Brady to have to clear. Right. So I honestly think initially he'll be received well. Yeah. But his track is going to take a similar way to Tony Romo's, in that the more comfortable he gets. The other thing is, I saw this roast, right? I don't think he has a great sense of humor. All right. I mean, apparently in the middle of the roast, he got offended by something they were saying about Robert Kraft.
The massage joke, yeah.
Massage parlors.
Yeah.
All right. So he got mad at that. Then after it was over, he said that some of the jokes hurt his family. Right. Well, Jay, you know this better than anybody. If you're going to let the public reaction affect the way you do your job, you're in trouble. Right. I don't see that he's going to add any more than basic analysis of the game, which will decline as he loses track of the players further in his career.
Right. I mean, I go back to this. I have a couple of statements that I think are always true, which is if your grandmother knows who the player is, it probably adds value. How much value? I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to watch because Tom Brady is the analysis. The other thing I always say is that anybody who weighs their food can't be interesting. I stand by that. I think that if you're somebody that's figuring out how many grams of carbohydrates you're eating per day, you're going to be a boring person. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I was initially like, okay, maybe he's got a sense of humor because he did the roast, but then he comes out and he whines about it. And I'm like, all right, well, here's a guy who maybe never got as much criticism as he should have gotten throughout the course of his life because he's, 6'5" and gorgeous. Then now he's going to go on TV and he's going to get attacked and he's going to be a baby about it. So
he whined about it because his ex-wife got upset and his ex-girlfriend got upset. That's why they're the mothers of his children. Right. And I'm sure they laid into him big time.
Yeah. They should have. It was awful. Those roasts are bad anyway. Jay, you've probably done some of those, right?
I've written
All
for
that is an excuse to use the most tasteless stuff available and get away with it. And frankly, I hate those things.
I just got to say this. A roast used to be friends roasting friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's hired guns coming in to write jokes.
No.
It's got a
No.
different vibe. Nikki Glazer doesn't know who Tom Brady is.
No.
So it
No.
doesn't matter how good a joke is. It's just a joke. If it were his best friends doing it, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Although Nikki Glazer's joke of agreeing to do this roast is the best idea you had since you told your wife to take those judo lessons was a pretty good,
That's a great
That's a
line.
good joke.
That was
good
a
line.
great
That's a
line.
good joke.
Speaking of the NFL, this dropped literally 10 minutes before we started recording. Netflix just won the rights to broadcast the global rights to two NFL games next year, the two games that are running on Christmas. They also have them for 2025 and 2026. The word is they're paying $75 million per game, which
Wow.
is just ridiculous money. Ridiculous rights money. I just wanted to get your guys' initial reaction to this. Netflix, is it going to do a good job, or does it even matter at this point?
I mean, they have to hire announcers, right? Or are they just using the announcers?
I would
I mean,
imagine they'd have to get announcers. Yeah, right.
so to me, here's the thing that I find really, and it gets back to the NFL just being this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. They just like axed a big part of their workforce for NFL Network, getting rid of some really good people like James Palmer, who I think is terrific, and they moved the broadcasts that have been in New York, moved it to LA, and told all the people there, you're either moving or you don't have a job anymore, because they were going to get free whichever stadium they own, they were going to get free, places to do their business. So I'm just blown away by like how much money and how they fight over every penny for everything. It's astonishing to me.
It's weird because I consider myself a newfound family man now that I'm retired. I spend lots of time with my family, Jay.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy the NFL is doing Christmas games. Like, hey, I used to sit after, you see your relatives for a few minutes. It's kind of like, all right, I hope this is a sports event. And they had all these NBA games, but I wasn't to have the NFL there on Christmas Day. Like this year, it falls on a Wednesday, and they're still doing two of these games. That to me, I know it's a sacrilege. Well, you shouldn't be playing football on Christmas Day. I love it. And I was happy about that. I don't really care who brings it. I don't need them to have great announcers or anything else. I'm going to see two NFL games on Christmas, and that makes me happy.
And right there,
Christmas Eve was always the night. We do the big dinner on Christmas Eve. You open the presents on Christmas morning, and then I usually nap the rest of the day. So to me, it's perfect.
And Angelo, that statement right there is why Netflix is paying $150 million for the game, which is, doesn't matter who brings it to me. I just want the NFL. And so long as people keep saying that, that number is going to keep going up and up and up.
Totally true.
Another streamer that is in trouble, that's looking for relevance, just announced they are going to do a Office spinoff. And this is the Peacock channel. They're bringing in Greg Daniels, who is the guy who developed The Office for America. I looked at this press release. I sent it to you. Do you see anything in this press release that relates back to The Office at all? Because it's a game. It takes place in a dying Midwestern newspaper, which is something I'm interested in. I'm interested in seeing local news and the newspaper. How did this, other than the fact that newspapers are printed on paper and Dunder Mifflin sells paper, I don't understand how this is connected. Is this a legitimate spinoff? Can it survive? Has there ever been a survival or a TV show that's been spun off 12 years after the original show went off the air that people care about? Angelo, you care about this at all?
Here's the thing. All right. Are they going to do the same tired documentary style that has been adopted by many different shows now? Of course, we never see the actual documentary, but they show you all these interviews week after week, month after month, year after year. No, that first of all, this is one of my main complaints, that nobody ever comes up with new ideas that are fun, that are interesting. So I got to go through. They'll probably bring in some obscure character that's, from both shows. But the only one I can tell you that kind of rebooted after 8 years and pulled it off was Dexter. But it was a resumption of the original show with a much better ending. But it's almost impossible to make that work. And I think it's a sign of desperation for Peacock.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I was looking like yeah, what was it? The 70s show begat the 90s show. I watched it like one time. It was okay. It wasn't, it had Kitty and Red in it, who I liked. But I just it's really just goes to show you they're not coming. I mean, there's so much stuff on streaming, all new stuff that I absolutely love. That I would just be like, what I never really, I was one of those people who never really got The Office. I watched it, but I was not a devotee. So there's probably little chance. I mean, I may check it out, but I just don't get it. I don't get where the connection is, other than to say it's a reboot or a spinoff of The Office to get eyeballs on it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm not super excited about this. And yeah, Peacock is obviously dying. I sent you guys something about that last time. They're up to 34 million subscribers. They're only losing $700 million a quarter every quarter. So they can only keep doing this for a couple more years before it disappears. All right. So this is something we want to talk about because we're I think Angelo and I are both big fans of Anne Hathaway, not just for the obvious reasons that she's a very beautiful woman, but she's a very underrated actress that people do not like for some reason. She's a very weirdly people don't like her. I don't get it myself. I've always loved her ever since I saw her in the original Princess Diaries. Angelo, she's in a new show. You're a big fan. Let me just get out of the way, let you talk about her.
At the sense of upsetting people, I fell in love about a generation with two women, other than my own beautiful wife.
Sure.
And they were both in the same movie, which I love. The movie was The Devil Wears Prada.
Awesome.
And the two actresses were Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt.
Yep.
What's fascinating to me is that Emily Blunt has gone on to have an incredible career. Action thrillers, all sorts of great roles. While Anne Hathaway, who actually had the lead in Prada with Meryl Streep, has kind of faced constant backlash from people that don't like her. It got to the point where she has been bullied right off social media.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing. All right. She's in a new movie called The Idea of You. And in it, she's 40, which is what her age is. And she falls in love with the boy band guy who's 24, right? The term for this, Rhea, is tadpoling. All right.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
I've never heard of this. Tadpoling.
Right. This is when the woman is older than the guy. All right.
Yeah.
It's a terrific movie. She is phenomenal in it. I mean, you will watch this. Rom-com's supposed to be dead. Not when Anne Hathaway's in it. She breathes life into this old genre and makes it terrific again. And like halfway through, I started to get upset, thinking, why is she hated? Because she cares. You see in interviews, she's really very emotional and she's trying to please maybe too much, right? She seems like a very nice person who's a brilliant actress who also happens to be drop dead gorgeous. I mean, this is the most beautiful she's ever looked. And I can't get over the fact that she is not more beloved, while Emily Blunt, who's also great, is beyond great. I mean, she gets all the big roles. I don't understand it. It makes no, Jay, I hope you could help me because you're a man.
Yeah. Well, I think something you said maybe is the heart of it, which is that she does seem to want that love. Right.
Yeah.
And I do believe, and I always say this to young comics, the more you want approval from an audience, the less an audience is willing to give you approval. And they say it takes 10 years to get good at stand up. What it really does is it takes 10 years to stop caring if the audience likes you or not. And that moment is when the audience starts loving you because they feel like people don't want to have power over you. It's this weird psychology of no one likes desperate. And if you read as desperate, people are immediately going to go the other way. And I think with Anne Hathaway, she is such a raw nerve. She is such a please love me type. It doesn't matter that she's so beautiful and talented and wonderful. There's always going to be a portion of the audience that goes, oh, you want this? I'm not giving it to you then. And that's my theory on her. Rhea,
And
do you
that's where
agree?
it came from. It came from, I believe, when she was in Les Mis, right? And she won an
Yes.
award for that, I think.
Yes.
People felt like she stumped too much to get the award. That's where the original backlash. So I remember reading it because I love the New York Post. I read Page 6 all the time, and I thought to myself, other actors. I mean, Bradley Cooper stumps every season.
Oh,
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, went hard after for Hustlers, I think it was. They all do it. So I'm just stumped as to why he got the backlash when they all do it. I mean,
Right.
they're
Well,
all trying to get the awards.
Rhea, there was one other thing, and it was a career mistake, but she made the most of it anyway. She agreed to host the Oscars one year with
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was real bad. It was
yeah,
bad. But if you watch, she gave everything she had to that
yeah.
assignment. And James Franco was horrible. He was way worse than
Yes.
she was in that. And somehow that she carried that with her because she was very earnest that night, trying to make people love her, and people recoiled. But you know what? The statute of limitations on that ended. It is
Yes.
time to embrace Anne Hathaway because she is absolutely one of the best people in movies, one of the best, and she deserves the appreciation of the public.
My
I
best
think
friend saw the movie and absolutely loved it. Told me I got to watch it.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's really good. Jay, watch it with your wife. It's a fine date movie.
all right. I don't want my wife to know about this term tadpoling though. I've been very nervous that she might.
Yeah, you should be there. Yeah.
All right, let's do America's favorite segment, the British and Teen Corner, brought to us by Rhea Hughes. What do you got for us this week,
I
Rhea?
got a great one this week. It's called Bodkin. It's an Irish mystery series, 7 episodes on Netflix. I'd heard about it and it dropped last Thursday, and I've already watched all 7 episodes.
Oh
It's about
wow.
a group of 3 podcasters who go to this small town, Bodkin, in Ireland, to do a podcast about 3 people who disappeared, a cold case 25 years ago. The American is played by, I don't know if it is it Will Forte.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay. He plays Gilbert Powers. I love him. He comes across as this eager to please character, but delivers really great lines. Siobhan Cullen is Dove. She plays a hard-bitten journalist who has to help him with this. And then Emmy is their kind of meek assistant. It is so good because of the characters around it. Irish people are just generally funny, just the way they talk, but the characters in the town. And one guy who really steals the show is, I want to get his name right, David Wilmot. He plays Sean Gallagher, who is mysterious, funny, very violent. There are enough red herrings in this to keep you very interested throughout. I mean, it's got nuns on an island who dabble in psychedelic mushrooms. Um, and at its heart, it's, coming back to what we do, it pokes fun at true crime podcasts. It
Right.
really spends the whole movie kind of doing it. So it got 68% from critics, 69 audience, but ending was a little bit flat, but it kept me engaged right up till the ending. And I just liked it because had the mystery, had the humor, had Irish people. I just found it very, very enjoyable.
Right.
Sounds
Anything
good.
involving podcasters, I'm in. And
Exactly, exactly.
what do you got for Teen Corner this week?
So, Jay, you had mentioned that the movie theater over in Cherry Hill is running the Spider-Man thing
Yes.
like every Thursday. Well, Clark decided to get in on it, so he's doing that. But he had not seen the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man,
Right.
so he saw the first one, the Amazing Spider-Man, which has a pretty amazing cast: Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Sally Field, Dennis Leary, Martin
Dennis Leary.
Sheen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this one, it gives you a little bit of slice of life of Peter Parker when you never, most of the Spider-Mans we've never seen the parents. This gives you a little slice of life of him with his parents before they disappear, and then he's raised by his aunt and uncle. He gets bit by the by the spider, and gets the powers. Clark liked it. He didn't think the villain was very good. The villain is the lizard.
Right.
Kind of thought he was a little lame. But Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, he thought that they had great chemistry together, and he really, really liked it.
Well, they were dating in real life when they made the
Oh, well,
movie,
there you
so they
go.
had astounding chemistry. And what's interesting is, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was pretty much maligned when it came out, but when they did Spider-Man No Way Home and they brought him back, there was a big resurgence in, hey, maybe this guy was better than we thought. So
Yeah,
people are
Clark
looking
really
back
liked it and
kindly.
got 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, and he saw that in the movie theater. But I can check real quick. I think it is available online.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
it is. And Angelo, what do you got for us this week?
I hit the mother load this week. Everything I watched, I thought was terrific. and I mentioned before the idea of you with Anne Hathaway. The best thing I saw this week, it may have been the greatest documentary I've ever watched. It was The Jinx, the story of Robert Durst,
Right.
the real estate
Oh, yeah.
billionaire who allegedly admitted in the first season of this documentary that he had killed 3 people. Well, the night before the finale, where he makes the admission while taking a leak, he had a mic on that they didn't realize he had. They arrested him. And this is the second part. It covers all of his prison conversations, which were all taped. Even though they were taped, he said tons of stuff in it. It still features, the documentarian is Andrew Jarecki, who is a great documentarian. The second season, which you would think, come on, it can't be as good as the first one. The first one, they convicted the guy. It's really great. It's the inside the process of a court and how they put cases together, and especially when the defendant is nuts, which this guy is. It's
Yes.
really the Jinx Part 2 is on Max. It is running right now, and it is great. Also, I can now fully endorse Sugar. It has an incredible twist near the end.
Oh, okay.
But it's still great. I'm still watching A Man in Full, which is also great. And I've started watching Hacks, which is about your field, stand-up comedy. Jay, they recreate, she ends up subbing at the last minute for a late night talk show host.
Right.
It was one of the best recreations of a talk show I have ever seen. It was hilarious. Awesome. So all of those are great, but the Jinx Part 2 on Max is spectacular.
It's very important, everybody. Just remember, if you're going to commit a murder, do not confess to your penis, because only bad things will happen. I want to end out on a plea to our listeners. I'm begging you, everyone, go see The Fall Guy in the theater. It's probably only going to be there another week or two. I don't think it'll be. It's been out for 2.5 weeks now. It is one of the most fun times I've had in a theater in a long time. Is this high art? It is not. It is very silly. It is based on an IP that starred Lee Majors and Heather Thomas.
I love that show. I love that show.
It's got Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, and it's got Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso.
Yes.
And you will enjoy yourself. It's got great music. It's got great action. It's funny. It's got a good romance. Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling have wonderful chemistry. This is what you want in a movie. You want to go see good-looking movie stars do movie star stuff on a big screen. And if you just want to see stuff on your TV from now until the end of time, don't go see it. But if you want to see actual movies get made that aren't Marvel movies, that are like mid-budget, just fun, good movies, go see it, support it, so that Hollywood gets the message that we want to see more of this. Because I don't know what more you want from Hollywood other than 2 hours of joy in a movie theater. Go see it. That is my plea to you. You will enjoy it. I promise.
Jay, I got to tell you, that was one of the most eloquent appeals we've ever had at this pocket. Now, I'm still not going to see it. I'll wait till it goes online. But it was real. You put a lot behind that. I was very impressed.
I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I want to see.
Look amazing. I can't wait to see it. So maybe Saturday night I'll see if Clark wants to go see it, because it looks fun.
Go see it. And I'm going to tell you, it was directed by a former stunt coordinator. He did the stunts on John Wick. It's got nothing but real live stunt people doing real live stunts. Not a lot of computer stuff. It's so good. It's so interesting. Rhea, not high art, but go see it anyway. It's really good. Angelo, what did we talk about this week?
All right. Well, speaking of not high art, if you want to waste an hour and a half and get in the middle of our debate, watch Unfrosted on Netflix. If you want to see me make a complete ass of myself, you could see the documentary Kelsey on Amazon Prime. If you would like to see the NFL play on Christmas, they will be doing it on Netflix. Hallelujah. The Office spinoff, we don't know exactly when. It will be on Peacock at some point. Great, great movie, rom-com. The Idea of You is available on Amazon Prime. We've also got Bodkin, on Netflix. Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield version, by the way, that is available also on Netflix.
Yep.
The Jinx Part 2 on Max. Sugar is on Apple TV. A Man in Full on Netflix, and Hacks on Max. They're all great. And The Fall Guy is available for another week or so in theaters. Go and experience 2 hours joy.
Joy, baby, joy. Also, if you want to contact us, there's a little button right in your podcast app that says send us a text message. I cannot reply to you because I just get like 3 numbers from your phone number on it or whatever. So it's like your phone number's hidden, but we get that message and I share it right away with Angelo and Rhea. So please communicate with us. Drop us a text, drop us a line, let us know what you want us to review, what you want to talk about. We love to hear from you. Also, please follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. Tell 10 of your friends. And Angelo, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to say as a parting thing, I want to thank Victoria, Vicky Bell, and Rhea. Could you just toast her with the wine?
Oh,
She really
yes.
enjoys when you do the wine.
Victoria Bell, this is for you.
And we will be back
Love it.
next week with more great TV talk. Thanks, everybody.
That's good.